Razavan, FightHype.com with me, promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, we're back here at the Dorchester Hotel in London for the press conference and official announcement for anti-Joshua Joseph Parker. I was just mentioning we were expecting some huge fireworks, but it was actually quite calm, reserved, and respectful.
Well, mind you, AJ was talking to the other team. I saw the eyes, you know, they had some meaning, but I think David Higgins did a great job in building this fight. He's a bit quirky, but he knows what he's doing. He's a good operator as well, actually. And I just wanted him to say, yeah, come on. You said Joshua's got a glass chin. You said he's like the England football team. You said that he's mentally weak, so tell him. He's only there. And he couldn't quite get it out of his mouth. But you know, I think there's a lot on the line in this fight. You know, obviously it's an undisputed unified heavyweight championship. It's the first time in Britain that two reigning world heavyweight champions have boxed. It's the first time in boxing history, I believe, that two fighters, heavyweight world champions with a 100% winning record, have met as well. So AJ, I think, needs more respect in the boxing circles. This is his 21st fight, it's his second unification fight. He's already had more defences than any other British world heavyweight champion. So, you know, he's miles ahead of his time in that respect. We didn't expect to be here so quickly, but he is, and now win this fight, and he's one belt away from being the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, which is the only aim right now.
Let's go back a few months. Obviously, this is the fight that you wanted. Dave Higgins was very vocal on social media about him not coming to the UK unless the fight was really close, and it was going to happen. But how have negotiations
gone? Pretty well. I mean, you know, for all David's, like I said, quirkiness, you know, they had a position that they thought their fighter represented in terms of value in the fight. We had ours, and we found some middle ground. I don't think it's a deal where either fighter is overly happy, but I think in general it's a deal where everybody knew this was the right fight for everybody. So I'm pleased that it's done. I think everyone's pleased it's done, and we can concentrate on a great event and a great fight. It's a dangerous fight. You know, Higgins, they're two fast, big punching, young, undefeated heavyweight world champions. And how often can you say that in a build up to a fight? So I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I think it's a dangerous fight, but one which I think AJ wins in style, and that's what, you know, I was saying to their team. You know, you've said all this, but do you really believe? Because I think they think they can win this fight, but that's not strong enough for me. Like, I know we win this fight. That's what I believe. It's not. I don't see anything but an anti-Joshua knockout in this fight. Listen, I may be wrong, but it's not in my mindset. But with them, it's more, we think. You know, do you believe? Yeah, we believe we could, but do you really believe? Because when you say things like someone's getting knocked out in this fight, you know, for us it's Joseph Parker's getting knocked out in this fight. So, but listen, I'm just a promoter. I don't do the fight, and they get in there, and they're two great athletes, two great world champions.
People say Charles Martin came and he gave it. Brazil came and he gave it. Molina came. His team and himself gave it. Joseph Parker's come here. Higgins is giving it, but in reality, are we just going to see the same with the other three opponents? Is it going to be an easy victory?
No, I think this is the toughest. I think this is possibly the toughest fight of AJ's career so far. You know, the Klitschko fight, we knew a lot about Klitschko. Do you know what I mean? We've seen him time and time again. We know what he was going to do, and he did that, although he fought probably more aggressively than many people thought he would fight. Parker's going to come, he's going to swing, he's going to throw plenty of shots, he's fast. People talk about he's got a granite chin, but let's see how granite his chin is when he gets hit by Joshua. It's one thing getting hit by Hughie Fury, or, you know, nearly hit by Hughie Fury, Takam, Ruiz. They're not punchers. Joshua is a puncher who is very fast, but it's a brilliant matchup. Like I said, like two fast, undefeated, young heavyweight world champions. So this is exactly what the sport of boxing needs.
Did Higgins really get under Joshua's skin? Joshua,
I think he did in a bit. Yeah, I think you know, when you're negotiating, Anthony's a fighter. Rob McCracken, who is his closest advisor, he's also a fighter. So we're negotiating a contract, and I'll go to them and say, you know, they want this. Tell them no, because of what they've read. Do you know what I mean? I look at it and go, keep going, Dave. This is great. So I'm looking at it thinking, this is brilliant. This is making the fight bigger and bigger. They're looking at it as disrespect, and that's difficult when you're negotiating a deal. So yeah, I think some of the things that they have said has got under Anthony's skin, and that's why you saw Anthony justify the comments today. He doesn't really do that very often, and he wanted to say, you know, you said this, but Anthony deals in facts. Higgins says we deal in facts. Anthony's got a glove, but the truth is Anthony wanted to deal in facts himself, and you know, it's fascinating. The build-up's going to be great. It's only just beginning, and Higgins is going to find his voice. And like I said, he's quirky, and but quirkiness doesn't really take you to the elite of a sport. Eric the Eel, he was quirky. He didn't win gold at the Olympics. Eddie the Eagle, he was very quirky, but he never won anything. So Parker's a great champ, but I'm interested to see if he can reach the levels of Anthony Joshua.
Is there a rematch clause?
Yeah, like you know, some people talk about rematch clause in this fight. It all depends at the end of the day if it's a good fight. You know, if it's a good, the rematch clause for Parker is more about luring him into the fight, because if he wins, he's the biggest star in world boxing. Yeah. And if he wins, the money he makes in a rematch is by far bigger than any fight he could ever wish to take. So therefore, it's attractive to him to have a rematch clause. It's a lure for him to take the fight. So, but again, all these fights, you know, talk about Canelo Golovkin. If that was a poor fight, there wouldn't be a rematch. Do you know what I mean? It's just that if it's a good fight, you'll see it again, and it could be both ways.
Do you think Adrian now can't go back to the O2s, the MENs?
Yeah, that's one of the problems. I mean, listen, it's a lovely problem to have, but we can't go to 15,000, 16,000 seater arenas. I will get lynched publicly as well. So we're in 80,000 again. It's going to sell out very quickly, but we can only go to those places. Look, Takam was supposed to be Pulev. It's still a good night, still a good fight, but ultimately, if we're in these stadiums, they've got to be the big ones, and the big ones are Parker, Fury, Wilder. They're the big fights out there for us, and you know the priority is the belts. So we know what we're doing. We want to fight Joseph Parker, and then in 2018 next, or the one after, or maybe there'll only be one more fight. It has to be the winner of Wilder against Ortiz, and we're doing it so quick. You know, he's 27 years of age. He's had 20 fights. By 22 fights, he could be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and that is incredible.